There's an interesting link between Bayern Munich and Harry Kane in the last day or so. Now, Antonio Conte's come out and slammed this. How dare you speak about our player in public? Fabrizio Romano today said this is not going to happen. This is untouchable. There's no way this deal happens. Bayern Munich, if they came in and put in a serious bid, first question is, do you think Harry Kane's head would be turned? Second question is should his head be turned?
Good. Those are two really good questions, man. Will his head be... that's a good question. I would say maybe yes, the second one. The first one is tough. Before Conte came in, I would say yes to both. But I think for Kane, the reason why it's difficult to answer the first one is he's like, Conte could be creating something here. Like, look at last season. They beat Man City twice. And now they've now strengthened in the summer. So this seems to... So it's like, if it can just be more consistent, we know we can beat Man City. And we should have beaten Liverpool twice as well. So he's like, I've got a good thing going on here. I'm now moving to a Bayern that's a much younger manager. Like, what's it called? Nagelsmann is around our age, you know? So he's a very young guy. Doesn't really have as much experience as Conte. I know it's a Bayern, but maybe this Tottenham under Conte is much more of a safer bet than Bayern. But at the same time, another angle is I want to win trophies. Yes, all these records are good. I want to have some silverware. I go to Bayern, I'm guaranteed a Bundesliga, I'm guaranteed a DFB Pokal, and I've got a very good chance of winning a Champions League. Because if I now go, I've got Gnabry, I've got Coman, I've got Sané, I've got Sadio Mane, I've got Thomas Muller, I've got Joshua Kimmich. That's a crew. Kane at Bayern with that crew are good enough to win a Champions League for sure. 100%, they're good enough to win a Champions League.
Yeah.
So
I think there's club loyalty, and I get that there's an element of loyalty that's got to Tottenham. I think having nearly left and then committing yourself to them again, there's an element of, can I really do this again? There's Alan Shearer's Premier League goal scoring record as an example. Like, that'd be nice to have. But I keep saying this to people, individual player records. In the generation I grew up watching football, whenever Ryan Giggs was questioned about another player record, another appearance record, whenever Rooney was questioned around, would you like more goals? Would you like more of this? The answer was always the same. As long as they're winning trophies, I don't care. I remember Ryan Giggs said when he retires, he might look back at some of the individual achievements and go, great. But all he focuses on day in, day out is what makes the team better and what wins the most amount of trophies, which is why I hold important players in teams winning major trophies above and beyond everything else, because that's their focus. Their focus is very rarely, I want to be the Ballon d'Or winner. If I do this though, I might get into the PFA Team of the Year. That was never their motivation. So maybe things have changed a little bit. However, Harry Kane can win the Golden Boot 6 years on the bounce between now and when he retires. He can get the most Prem goals ever. He can get the best Premier League goals ever. He can break all of Spurs' records, be the greatest player in Tottenham's history. If he doesn't win a league title or a Champions League, he doesn't have a proper legacy in football. He doesn't have one. We cannot, for me, be moving goal. Okay, when I say doesn't have a proper legacy, he does at Tottenham. I'll give you an example. Matt Letizia at Southampton is an absolute god. And he's also a kind of Premier League legend. But it's more folklore. It's kind of like, how good could he have been if he went to a bigger club? But he didn't go to a team in the Champions League. He didn't go to a team that could challenge for the title. By choice, by the way. And that's on him. You need to do it. You know, in no other sport that I can think of, and you might be able to find an obscure or sort of rare example, someone like Jimmy White in snooker, where you're a superstar, where you're looked at as a legend, but you've never won the major trophies. It very rarely happens. And the fact that you might be able to...
In any sports, you need trophies, man. I don't know of any sports...
Mate, again, somebody will pull out a name and go, well, this person's a legend in golf and they've never won a major. Like, you can get these little examples, but the vast majority of the legends that we look at, the absolute stalwarts, the Hall of Famers, they win. And they win the major. They win the major belts. Sometimes you get put into Hall of Fame because you're a pioneer, because of other things that you've done. But Harry Kane can win all those individual awards, all the golden boots, top goal scorer. He needs to be winning league titles. He needs to be winning Champions Leagues. And if Bayern Munich actually came in and went, listen, forget Levy saying yes or no. That isn't even the conversation. I'm talking about Harry Kane. If they put a bid in and Harry Kane's first response is, no, I want to stay here. he has to be 110% cast iron sure that Spurs are backing Conte, are going to keep Conte happy, and that they're going to win something major. Because if they don't, he's wasted his career. And I think it's a shame for a player of his level, his ability to waste. We tease Steven Gerrard because he didn't win Premier Leagues, but he won a Champions League. He won FA Cups. He won Europa stroke UEFA Cups. He won League Cups. He won everything but the Premier League.
The league.
But he still gets teased. Harry Kane will never be able to live it down. And yeah, he might not care. Like, Spurs, it will dine out for the rest of his life. Spurs fans will do this. He'll have a statue at Tottenham. Imagine having a statue for achieving greatness, but never winning a major trophy.
Yeah, no, that's trash. That's trash.
For me, if I was his agent and Bayern Munich wanted him, I said, I know it's going to cause rickets, but we've got to push for this move again. This is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich.
And I know, and I think Kane realizes that, I think, which is what's happened with the whole Man City thing. I think Kane realizes that this whole thing of being at Tottenham and so forth and breaking records, no one cares. And because that's why I don't have much respect for Kane. I appreciate what he does in terms of the goals scored, but for me, those goals have to come with silverware. It has to come with something that I can touch and hold. And I now see you in that semi-final situation, in that final situation. So when we now look at whether we compare a Lewandowski, a Benzema, Carlos Suarez, we talk about not only their goals, what they did in the Champions League, what they did for that league title, what they did for that trophy. Your goals have to amount to something. They can't just be goals for the sake of scoring goals. The goals have to lead and amount to something. And I just believe that, I think Tottenham will do good this year. They're not beating Man City. I feel my crazy take is Tottenham comes second behind thingy, but I don't think they beat Man City. So they could win an FA Cup. They could. They're not winning a Champions League, so they could win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. But again, it's very competitive. It's very competitive. And I just think that, if I was Kane's agent and Bayern come in, that's the move to make. Because Lewandowski has gone. There's literally a space there for you. And even beyond just the Bundesliga, if you give me Kane, Muller, Mane, Sané, Gnabry, that's a team that can win the Champions League. They can. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And listen, he's got his loyalties, he's got his own thoughts and his own feelings. But yeah, it'd be intriguing to see what he does.